Yo, what's up everybody? CirclePunk here, bringing you another video from my collection. We're gonna go over more of a vintage side of my collection, which is the PS1 and PS2 games, which is crazy to think about that PS1 and PS2 games are vintage since I grew up playing them. I feel very old just talking about them. So first we're gonna go through my PS2 collection. I'm combining these two because they're smaller at the moment in my current collection compared to my PS4, PS3, and etc. So we're gonna do those together, and then we'll give the others their own separate videos. First, we got Agent Under Fire for the PS2. 007. Like I said in the last game before, I'm a huge 007 fan. This one's actually complete in box, which is sick. Growing up playing shooters, especially GoldenEye, like I always got very like how you say it, like interested in their shooters, like the way they portray James Bond and all that cool stuff. I don't know if you guys get a good picture of that. It's a little glossy, but it's pretty fun. I remember playing this game a lot. I went back to it recently. Apparently it's a lot shorter than I remember. It took me about like 2 hours to finish it. Very cool, pretty big part of my childhood. I very much enjoyed it, so I had to pick it up once I got my PS2, or another PS2 again. The next one, bam, another 007 game, Nightfire. So this one, other than the 64 version, a lot of people say this is the best Bond game, which I mean, I don't disagree. It's actually really fun. The cinematics are pretty cool. I don't really like driving too much, like in any game, but the driving in this game is really fun. You get cool gadgets. It kind of reminds me like a Mario Kart a little bit, where you get rockets to shoot people and all that cool stuff. It's pretty fun. The story's it's original actually, same as Agent Under Fire. They're not part of movies, they're their own stories, and this is a sequel to Agent Under Fire, so they're their own kind of thing, and it's pretty sick, pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so next we have one of the more bizarre games in my collection, I guess you can say, Drakengard. If you're not familiar with Drakengard, I actually had Drakengard 3 in my PS3 collection. This is the first one, obviously. Made by Yoko Taro, who made the Nier series. This is actually, I believe it's ending E of this game, which was like a goof ending, actually ended up being the Nier series, which is pretty crazy. So I wanted to pick this up. I actually got a pretty good deal on it. The combat's not the best. The storytelling is really dark. Like, yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up a video of just of the story. It's pretty dark. A lot of taboo subjects and all that crazy stuff. But yeah, I definitely wanted to pick up because I am a fan of Nier and the Drakengard series, so I definitely wanted to play this one. Pretty cool, pretty interesting. Yeah. All right, next one. So I got Castlevania. What is it called again? Lament of Innocence. I keep forgetting what the title of this game is. So this one's actually pretty cool. It's a 3D Castlevania game, so similar to like God of War kind of thing, where you whip around your chain. I believe this is a prequel, if I'm not mistaken. The character you play as before like the whole thing goes down, before the whole Dracula thing. Pretty cool. I am a huge fan of Castlevania. I really wish they would bring it back, but Konami, I don't know what they're doing at the moment with all their IPs, Silent Hill, Metal Gear, and of course Castlevania. But this one's really fun, really cool. I actually want to do a playthrough of it on stream one day. It's a lot of fun, so I don't want to spoil too much of it for those who've never played it, but definitely recommend playing it if you have a PS2. Okay, so next game is probably everyone's least favorite game in the Final Fantasy VII series, and that's going to be Dirge of Cerberus. So I actually didn't mind this game too much. It's a shooter, so it's not really much of a RPG game. It does have Vincent Valentine though as the main character, which he's pretty cool in Final Fantasy VII. He's actually a side character in that game, and you can totally miss everything about him like through a playthrough. Yeah, so I believe this is after Final Fantasy VII and Advent Children actually, so it's like one of the last games in the series, I believe, like story wise. Pretty interesting. Wraps up his story, tells about his dad, how he became to be when he was a Turk, and all that cool stuff. Again, not for everybody, but I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII, especially with the new Final Fantasy games coming out. I wanted to pick this up and replay it because just to add more to the story. A lot of fun. All right, next one. We got Animousha Warlords. So if you aren't familiar with this one, this one's actually made by Capcom, and it's pretty much Resident Evil, but like in the samurai era kind of thing. So you use swords to fight demons. You use the same tank controls, which is pretty cool. Story is very interesting. You play as Samanosuke, who's like a war hero kind of guy going after Nobunaga, who supposedly died, or he did die, and then he came back as a demon lord, and now you have to fight to defeat him. Really fun. I believe it's on Steam. It's like pretty cheap. You can get it for like $8, I think, or $10. Me though, I had to get a physical copy of it because of just the nostalgia. Really enjoy that game. Probably one of my favorite all-time series. I hope Capcom can bring it back because that's a series that definitely deserves to come back. Next one is Animousha 2. So this one's pretty cool. It kind of follows the first one, so it does reference Samanosuke in the first one a lot. But I think it's like its own story. You play as, what's this guy's name again? I forget. Jubei. There you go. So you play as Jubei. He's like the master swordsman in his class or something like that, and you travel along trying to find the people that destroyed his city or his town, which is I think it's like Nobunaga again, because you end up finding them at the end, and then you meet up with other masters. So you got like masters of hammers, spears, swords, ninjas, and all that cool stuff. It's a really fun game. They actually did a little bit more in depth with this one, which I really enjoyed. More features than the first one, and I think it's a little bit longer. The ending though is very difficult. When you fight Nobunaga, it's not really a spoiler alert, but you're gonna go through a lot of your healing items, which is very annoying. All right, so next one is Grand Theft Auto 3. So this is actually the first Grand Theft Auto to use the third person's perspective, I believe. I am missing the map on this one, unfortunately, so it's not complete. But this kind of revolutionized what Grand Theft Auto is now. Because before it used to be like a top-down kind of thing where you run around and do the same. So you pretty much do the same thing though. Go hijack cars, rob banks, people, shoot everything. Oh my god, this game is so much fun. I actually went back to it recently and I forgot how crazy this game gets. I haven't played a Grand Theft Auto since like, I think San Andreas. But going back to this one was a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have played this one already. I'm surprised they haven't remastered this one though, because this one's pretty historic, but again, it's pretty cool. Really cool. All right, next one is probably everybody's favorite Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. So this one's, I have many memories about. So this one, I actually do have the manual on this one. I think it's a map. And so pretty much you play like in the 80s. A lot of fun. The soundtrack is amazing to this game. It has awesome songs in it. The gameplay is fun. Even when you put the cheat codes in, it's super fun, ridiculous. I mean, if you ever played a Grand Theft Auto game, you know how it is, but this one being set in the 80s actually makes it my favorite. It's a lot of fun. I remember playing this a lot as a kid, and it was just a lot of fun. All right, so next one. We got Persona 3 FES. I believe it's like festival version, which is what FES stands for. So this one I actually managed to find new in a box, or new in package, so it was brand new. I'm a huge fan of Persona series, Shin Megami Tensei series, and actually any kind of RPG series. This one particularly is pretty interesting. It's a little dark. The way they summon their personas is they actually put like an item that looks like a gun to their head, and they pull the trigger, which causes the persona to come out. It's pretty cool though, because when they battle, certain characters in the game kind of like react differently to the whole action of it, which is understandable, because like to pretend to put a gun to your head and pull it is actually, I don't know, a little uneasy, I'd say. So it shows in the character development, which is pretty sick, and there's even characters that don't really care, which you can tell by their personality. Pretty cool. If you ever played a Persona game, obviously you know what to expect with this one. A lot of fun. The dungeons are very grindy though in this one, but still a lot of fun. And actually I believe they're coming to the new consoles too, which is awesome. All right, next one. Persona 4. So this is not the golden edition. This is actually the original version of it. So this one's pretty cool. Again, another one I actually got brand new in a box. I believe it even comes with the soundtrack, so it comes with 2 discs. Oh, yes. So it comes with 2 discs, which is awesome. Again, the music to these games are pretty cool. This is similar to Persona 3, where instead they actually go into like a TV world kind of thing. It's a little hard to explain. Actually, talking out loud is a little weird about it. But this is a lot of fun. Again, they use personas. They summon, or they actually use glasses, which is a unique take. It's pretty cool. A lot of fun. There's also the golden version that does have a new character and more side or story quests, which I believe are coming out to the new consoles, which they just announced for Xbox, Switch, and I'm pretty sure for PS4 or 5. I'm not sure. But this was pretty cool. A lot of fun, and you can also find it on Steam, which is a lot of cool memories on that one. All right, next one. We got another Shin Megami Tensei game. This one is Digital Devil Saga. So this one's pretty unique compared to the other two. So this is not a Persona series, so it's not your typical high school life, all that cool stuff. So this one, you're actually post-apocalyptic. You're fighting in a war, and then all of a sudden there's like a flash that happens, and then everyone gets possessed by demons that need to eat people or something like that. I never completed it, which I do want to go back and finish it. Very interesting. A lot of the summon types, I guess, are the same. You get to play as either your character or their I think it's like a digital devil, so like their persona, I guess you could say. It's pretty cool. Story is really, really deep, obviously, for JRPG. And if you're ever familiar with Persona games, I mean, you know what to expect with it. Same thing with this one, Digital Devil Saga 2. Just completes the story, continues it. And also I got both of these brand new in box too, which is pretty interesting. You don't really find too many PS2 games in box. Of course, I opened them because I'm gonna play them. But yeah, again, just continues the story, finishes it. Pretty cool. Definitely recommend if you're into JRPGs. All right, next one. So we got Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. So this one was originally a PSP game that they brought over to the PS2. I believe you play as Gabe Logan. This one's a little bit different though, so it kind of like how do you say, like feeds to the PSP controls a little bit, which I thought were a little odd, especially when you have that one little joystick on the side. But pretty much you play as Gabe Logan, going around a third-person shooter, but I think you can move and shoot. I haven't played this game in a long time though. I kind of forgot how it works, but again, pretty cool. It was a really good PSP game. I'm actually looking forward to completing this. Maybe do it on stream, I'm not sure, but huge fan of Siphon Filter series, which I hope they bring back one day. Next one. So we got Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. So again, as all of you know, if you see my streams or any of my YouTube videos, I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid and of Hideo Kojima. This one kind of revolutionized Metal Gear Solid a bit by introducing a new character that's playable, which I know a lot of people didn't agree with Raiden. What was it, Raven? Raiden, who ends up actually being a main character in other games. But a lot of people weren't happy with that. They kind of tricked us with Solid Snake being the main character in the beginning, Tanker, and then after that he just kind of played like a side character, which a lot of people were not happy with, but I didn't mind. I like the new mechanics they added, the new first-person aiming, and all that cool stuff. Really fun. Probably one of the best Metal Gear games to go down, aside from the first one, of course. All right, next one. So this one is probably everyone's favorite, I would say, aside from the first one, Metal Gear Solid 3. So this one actually added more to the franchise than Part 2 did, or alongside Part 2, I guess you would say. So with the new camo mechanics, being more like in an open area kind of thing where you're in the jungle instead of like the tanker or like a like how you say, like a linear kind of path to go to. So this one added way more than that. You follow Big Boss, who's more of the origin story of the whole Metal Gear Solid series. So yeah, really fun. It shows Big Boss's rise to becoming the big boss, and then yeah, it's just awesome story, amazing storytelling. Enemies are bonkers, because if you ever played a Hideo Kojima game, you know how they are with like their supernatural stuff. But yeah, probably again everyone's favorite Metal Gear Solid. I would say it's up there for me, but the first one's always my favorite. Nothing's ever gonna beat the first one for me. Ooh, excuse me. All right, so next one, got Jak and Daxter. So this is the first one. I know it's not everyone's favorite one because it's very platformy and people didn't really enjoy that. I enjoyed it. Actually, I have a lot of memories playing this game. I recently picked it up after I picked up my PS2, just because of the nostalgia that it has. It's a pretty good game, kind of like a Crash game, I guess you could say, or Spyro. A lot of fun. I think there's 3 or 4 of them out now. Hopefully they bring the series back. I know Naughty Dog's been working on The Last of Us for quite a while now, so maybe not, but hopefully they can kind of outsource it to another studio. That'd be pretty sweet, but who knows. But yeah, probably one of my favorite platformers on the PS2. Okay, so that's my current PS2 collection. I'm still adding on to it as often as I can. There's a few more games from my past I definitely want to pick up. At the moment, unfortunately, they're a little too pricey, so I'm gonna have to wait on them a little bit, but I definitely want to pick them up again. But yeah, like back in the day, PS2, like anyone who has ever had one, you know, especially as a kid, didn't have really much money as a kid, so what we would do, trade in games, get new ones, trade them back, get the same ones back again. At least I did that a few times, which It's crazy if you think about it, but nowadays GameStop gives you like pennies for something you paid top dollar for, which is very unfortunate. I know the eBay community actually has grown a lot from that. Actually, they do have some fair prices sometimes too, so if you're looking to grow your PS2 collection or get into PS2 collection, definitely look on eBay. Highly recommend, especially since you can negotiate prices too. So yeah. Okay, so with that, next we're gonna start my PS1 collection, which again isn't as very big at the moment, but this is what I currently have. Okay, so first one, we got Spider-Man for the PS1. So this game, I have a lot of memories playing. And I actually went to a vintage store recently. Actually, the little books that's fine out. And I saw that they were selling it for like 200 bucks. I was like, why is that game 200 bucks? And the guys are like, oh, well, I think the Spider-Man movie, blah, blah, blah. This was a lot of fun, actually. I believe Stan Lee does the narration of the game, which is a really nice touch. You get to play against villains like Venom is in there. I think Shocker's in this one. And Black Cat's in here. Really cool. They touch on a lot of cool comic stuff. The controls are a little outdated, but again, it is a PS1 game, but actually a really solid Spider-Man game. Highly recommend, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan like myself. But yeah, really cool. All right, so next one, we got Spider-Man 2. So again, I don't know why this one wasn't as good as the first one, I would say, or actually a lot of people would say, Enter Electro. So it doesn't have as much characters as the first one did. The story is a little lacking on this one. It's pretty like cookie cutter kind of thing, but I enjoyed it. I like it. And again, I went to a retro game shop, and I saw that they had this for $250. I was like, dude, I got this for like 30 bucks. Why is it 250 bucks? That's so crazy. So definitely hanging on to this in my collection, whether or not the prices go up and down. Huge Spider-Man fan, really fun, really cool. But yeah. All right, so next one. My all-time favorite game. Well, one of my all-time favorite games, of course. Metal Gear Solid. So this one, I know I talk about a lot. I stream it a lot. Again, it's one of my all-time favorite games. A game that was definitely ahead of its time. Introduced me to the whole action stealth games. This is why I play stealth games, because of this game. Hideo Kojima is a mastermind on this one. I know it's kind of a little similar to like the earlier versions that he did, like Metal Gear. But Metal Gear Solid changed my life, like no joke. This is like inspired me to play video games because of this game. I think I've played through it on my whole lifetime, like over 100 times or so. Really enjoyed it. Got an amazing price for this copy. This is complete in box. No scratches, no cracks on the case. I think it was like 30 bucks. I had to pick it up. Again, one of my all-time favorite games. I know I talk about it all the time, so if you guys already know, definitely in my collection for sure. Okay, next one. So Siphon Filter. So this one is actually, I believe, the oldest game in my collection. Not release-wise. Actually, I have codes on the inside there on a post-it. I don't know if you guys can see that. But I bought this back when PS2, I think, was like the main console. So like that was the latest console at the moment, and PS1 games were kind of dying out. I bought this for $2 from a Game Crazy. I don't know if you guys know what Game Crazy is. Kind of think of it like a GameStop, but that was attached to Hollywood Videos. And if you don't know what Hollywood Videos are, think of Blockbuster Video. That's pretty much what it is. That was like their competitor at the time. And they would have this little store called GameStop, usually attached to them. Or Game Crazy, I'm sorry. Attached to Hollywood Videos. Dude, we had so many tournaments there. It was so much fun growing up playing there. It was awesome. But anywho, I bought this for $2 when the PS2 took over and PS1 was dying out. I picked this guy up. I believe it's actually, they just released it on the PS5, like this version of it. It's a lot of fun. If you're not familiar with it, you play as a secret agent. I think this was like Sony's attempt to kind of compete with Metal Gear Solid and Splinter Cell and all that by playing as a secret agent, Gabe Logan. Really fun. Definitely recommend if you have a PS5. I know it's part of like a new subscription fee, but I think you get it for $10 online by itself, and it has trophy support. Really cool. Really a lot of fun. Okay, so next one. Got Siphon Filter 2. So this one's pretty interesting. I think I have the manual for this one, so I do have both discs. Yeah, it's very interesting. Oh, the disc fell out. I was like, where did this go? Yeah, very interesting. You play as Gabe Logan again. It continues from the first one, and then you also play as girl, I forgot her name. What is her name? Lian Zing, that's her name. So you play as both of them. God, dude, I have not played this game in a very long time. I kind of forgot the plot of it, but I know you do go around trying to stop something from happening, and it's a lot of fun. New mechanics they added into the game, new weapons. It's just all around fun. If you're familiar with the first Siphon Filter, it's gonna play very similarly with little new things here and there, but a lot of fun, really cool. All right, next one. The world is not enough. So like I said before, I'm a huge Bond fan, or at least of the games. Unfortunately, this case is a little cracked, but I did pick it up for $5. It's really cool. Again, this follows the movie, so if you're familiar with the movie, I believe there's like 2 versions of this game. There's this version and the Nintendo 64, which are actually 2 separate games with the same title, which is very interesting. Again, you play as Bond, you go on missions. I think there's like 12 missions or so. It's pretty short, like probably about 2-3 hours. A lot of fun. If you're into shooters like I was, or like I am, definitely recommend playing. Hopefully they bring like some kind of Bond collection, which would be awesome, because dude, they have not made a good game for quite a while. All right, so next one. You guessed it, another James Bond game. So this one actually have a lot of fond memories playing as a kid. Tomorrow Never Dies. I remember playing it and not knowing what I was doing. I was just going around shooting people and blowing stuff up. This one's in third person, which I think it may have been the first one to go in third person. All the others were first person. A lot of fun. I liked it. I know everybody else didn't really have too great of a time with it, but I enjoyed it. Like, again, I played it a lot as a kid when I had my PS1 back in the day, and it's fun, and it made quite an impression, so I definitely had to pick it up when I started collecting games again. So a lot of fun. All right, next one. The Final Fantasy Anthology Collection. So this one actually has Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 5 and 6, and it actually comes with a soundtrack, which is pretty sweet. I don't know why it did that, but it did it. Again, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. If you've seen my streams or any of the YouTube videos I do play a lot of RPGs. There you go. This is the soundtrack right here. It's pretty sick. And of course, Final Fantasy 6, which is a lot of people consider to be one of the best RPGs, which I agree. I first played it on the Super Nintendo. A lot of fun. Actually, that's what got me into Final Fantasy games. And after that, I tried 7 and then 8 and all that and so forth. But this one's cool. It comes with 5 and 6 and the soundtrack. Pretty cool collection. Definitely recommend playing them if you haven't already. I think there's like a new Pixel collection that they released that has like higher graphics. So a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Next one. We got Final Fantasy 9. This one again has a very, very solid story. I mean, I know a lot of people have played this one. Very unique characters, very, very interesting story. And yeah, this one's actually 4 discs. So that's a lot of discs. So it's a pretty long game, at least for a PS1 game. I know they remade it recently for, I think for everything, right? For like the Switch, PS4, Xbox, all that cool stuff. A lot of fun. Definitely recommend if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, but if you are a fan of Final Fantasy, I'm pretty sure you probably played it already, but if you haven't, definitely recommend looking into. A lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed that. All right, next one. So we got Final Fantasy 8. So again, another one that people consider to be very, very good. This game's been remastered so many times. I'm actually surprised that it hasn't been remade like what they're doing to Final Fantasy 7, which they probably might do. A lot of the characters are very, very recognizable. You play as Squall, you play as on his journey, which is pretty trippy, pretty crazy out there. A lot of fun. Again, I believe it's like on everything at the moment: Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. A lot of fun. I think there's a remastered version of it, has better graphics, but pretty much still the same playstyle. They added new mechanics to it, such as like a card game. You can actually pick up magic instead of learning magic, which I thought was a little interesting. But yeah, a lot of fun. Actually, I hate to admit this, but I've never finished this game. I've always made it to the end, and I've never finished it. I don't know why. I definitely got to go back. I want to stream this game for sure. Once we finish up like all the other ones that we have planned, definitely want to go back to a Final Fantasy series and finish that up on stream, which is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so this one's the last one, and this one is probably my rarest and most expensive game in my collection, like out of everything that I have at the moment. And of course, it's Metal Gear and this game are like my top 2 for sure all-time favorite games. I've streamed it a few times, of course, and just recently I was lucky enough to find a physical copy in person, amazing condition, and of course the wife also was okay with me picking it up because it was a little pricey. But that would be this guy. Well, if you see my post, I'm pretty sure you know what it is already, but we got the good old OG Silent Hill. Oh my god, I have so many memories with this. There's actually a story that I always tell my wife, like every time I think about Silent Hill, where I actually had an original copy of this game back in the day. I picked it up like on eBay for like 30 bucks, 20, 30 bucks. And I was like, oh cool, let's play it. Yeah. I played it. I played a lot of it. I actually fell in love with this game, which got me to play part 2 and 3, which are also very amazing games. But for whatever reason, one year when we moved, it was no longer in my collection. I don't know what happened to it. I searched everywhere throughout our house before we packed up everything. I could not find it, and it drove me mad. So every time I would think about it, I would always get kind of frustrated on it. I ended up getting the digital version on PS3 though, so playing that kind of, you know, eased me down a bit. I was able to play my game that I liked a lot. It wasn't too much that it was very expensive. It was just more of it's one of my favorite games I love to play. So that's why I picked it up. Like it was pricey, but that was just like it was what it was. I picked it because I really enjoy this game. I want to go back and do another playthrough on my stream, hopefully soon once we finish all the other games that we have planned. But yeah, that is definitely one of the top tier ones I have. Okay, so that's my PS1 collection. As of right now, I am currently looking to grow it for sure. Nothing at the moment that I have in mind, but I do stop around a lot of retro game stores that we have. There's actually surprisingly a few of them around me that I didn't even know existed until I actually started getting retro games, which is awesome. Every store offers something unique. The personalities there are very cool. A lot of the guys, I just love chatting it up. We talk about video games for like 20 minutes. It's so much fun, so cool. I actually want to do a video about me visiting those stores so you guys can check them out for yourselves. Support local businesses, which is always a cool thing. And of course, all of us love video games, so that's kind of one thing also to support. But yeah, at the moment, that's what I have in my PS2 and PS1 collection. Again, I am looking to grow more once I come across certain games I want. Also saving up for a few that are a little pricey, so once I get those, we'll make a few more videos going over that stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Greatly appreciate it. You can catch me over on Twitch Monday through Thursday. I usually stream 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to whenever, usually about 3 or 4 hours. And if you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button and also subscribe if you want to see more upcoming videos. I'd greatly appreciate that. And yeah, that's it for me for today, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.